Hello everyone, RegiTime here again with yet another episode from my Coaching Myself series. I think it's the 7th, I'm not sure. I literally haven't played since the last video, so there won't be any looking at graphs and stats at the end, but there will be looking at hands, going back over hands that we've played that we didn't see the outcome of. I'm the only person for tabling in the pool right now. There's a few two-tablers, some one-tablers, so I'm pretty happy with the pool at the moment. There's not too many in it. There's only like 28 people in it and represent 4 of those people, so it might be a slightly slow video. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Planning on playing for around 40 minutes or so until the snooker comes back on TV. It's currently lunchtime in the UK. I'm processing the announcement that there's going to be a snap general election. Kind of hoping really hard that Labour don't get fucking annihilated in it, although I expect they probably will, which will be a big shame. And yeah, looking forward to settling down in front of the snooker this afternoon and just generally chilling out. But if we have time to squeeze us like a lunchtime session in, then we should absolutely do it. Bit of a loosey-goosey 3-bet here, but we'll give it a whirl. The 10-7. I'm not a huge fan of isolating versus pot size. Sorry, 3-bet versus pot size isolation rates, because they tend to be a little bit stronger. But you know, if you're not in, you can't win. So we'll give it a go. Still checking with the 8-7. We've picked up a straight draw now. Certainly going to be 3-betting the King-Queen suited for value. And for a bigger open versus somebody with such a high VPIP. I have to call this. It's just too good a price. It's too small a pot. And we won. Looks like the Queen's made our opponent fold open to 6x, but maybe slightly too big, but never mind. Try and hit home runs versus players who I suspect are going to be loose and bad. I don't really favour a small ball approach versus them. Not really favour a small ball approach versus anybody, but especially not against those types of players with my big hands out of position. I'm just going to play very exploitably, relatively safe in the knowledge that I'm not going to be getting exploited. Obviously going to 3-bet these jacks for value. I'm going to not be happy if we get 4-bet, but we're going to be very happy if we get the call. I do indeed get 4-bet, really quite small. I'm just going to jam here. Don't really see any alternative. Flatting and trying to dodge ace, king, queen flops. And then hope he c-bet so he can check shove and then still run into like whatever. Yeah. We don't want to get 4-bet, we've got jacks. We want to 3-bet jacks, like small blind versus button. If we're going to be like bailing on it and not just going for the jam or what have you, then it's kind of shit. But we did indeed lose, so never mind. See about our good shot. I mean, prefer to see a spade on board too, but take what there is there. And 3-bet the nice to get it in versus the loose guy with the 50 big blind stack. Squeezed here by what looks like a regular. Just fold. It's annoying, but we'll just fold. I got criticised the other day for having like my stats were up with like 19-12 with a 3.4% 3-bet. Number one, that clearly isn't my stats, so the guy who criticised me is a bit of a muppet. But number two, I don't think we need to be having like a super high 3-bet at 10-0 anyway. I think we can afford to play a little bit more passively and tighter pre-flop, because most of our edge is going to come from post-flop against players who can't play post-flop. We don't want to be bloating pots. If you've got like a pretty big or you think you've got a pretty big post-flop advantage versus most of your opponents, why the fuck do you want to like bloat pots pre-flop? It just makes no sense. Well, it makes no sense to me anyway. Now you want to play the streets where you got the biggest edge where the most money's behind. If you're going to be bloating pots pre-flop against players you have a significant post-flop advantage over, with like quite a few marginal hands that kind of need to hit to improve, then in my opinion you're making quite a lot of serious mistakes. I've been playing these games for a long time and I've been beating them for a long time, and I've seen these fucking lag superheroes come and go. More often than not, they quit or go broke. Not many go like super loose aggressive all through the micro stakes. They really don't. For everyone that does it, there's probably 5 or 6 that completely fucking fail. It's just never been my style. It never will be. I mean, my 3-bet is usually around like between 4 and 6%. My VPIP rarely gets above like 22. My PFR rarely gets above 17 or 18. But it just fucking works, and that's all that matters. Beat the games you're in. If you need to adjust that strategy when you move up, then adjust your strategy when you get there. But for now, just beat the games you're in for the best win rate you can by making like the best, most exploitable plays. Pretty sure this guy's got something here. With quite a big river bet. And I guess that's going to be one we'll look up at the end. Very unlikely it's going to come back on us with him having jammed. I'm going to 3-bet the Jack 9 suited. Don't really want to play out of position from the small blind with Jack 9 suited, but don't want to be folding Jack 9 suited to a fucking cut-off min raise very often. Sadly, this player is disappointed. He doesn't just called. I'm going to make a very small c-bet here. If he doesn't have an ace, hopefully he just folds. If he does have an ace, he'll just jam, and that'll be that. Pocket 8's on 9, 10, 9. I think we have to call once here and then just probably shut down versus turn heat. That's how it feels anyway. That's going to be my line. Unless like the turn bet's super small, then I'll probably just end up getting milked with the second best hand. Yeah, we're not going to continue here. Double barreled on this board. 8 might be the best hand, but I don't want to call this, and I don't want to call like another $2 on the river, so we'll just get out of the way. I am trying to mix more suited stuff into my 3-betting range, because we talked about in the last video. I think suited stuff just allows for more creativity post-flop than off-suited stuff. There's nothing more fucking frustrating than like 3-betting ace jack off, ace queen off, ace king off, and the board just coming down like fucking 3 random off-suited bricks, and there's just no real way you can continue without spewing a little bit. So I'm kind of not really going nuts with my offsuit high cards in terms of 3-betting them, and I'm replacing those with more Jack 9 suited, 9-7 suited, 9-8 suited, 8-7 suited, that type of thing. And 8-7 suited just way easier to play post flop in a 3-bet pot than ace king off is when both miss. At least with about 8-9 8-7 suited, you can pick out a little bit of backdoor equity, and you kind of don't. If you get placed under pressure, you can just fold it and not give a fuck. Whereas it's like ace king, people get married to it, myself included, and you kind of. It's a really easy hand to misplay post flop, isn't it? You either end up folding too much. You're just never really sure what the fuck you're meant to be doing with it. So if I get in spots where I'm not really sure what I'm meant to be doing, and let's face it, how do I play ace king in a 3-bet pot when I've missed is an age-old question that's still, there's no really super satisfactory answer to it. So just, if you commonly find yourself in situations that you can't find a good answer to, then quite a simple solution, at least in the short term, is to just not create those situations as often. That makes a lot of sense to me. I fired out 1 c-bet here. We've got 2 overs, backdoor straight draw. Hopefully our opponent's just missed and folds. He hasn't. He calls. Not a good barrel card. Giving up. If it's a 10, queen, king or ace, we definitely would have barreled the turn. And just going to follow the river. There's lots of heroes in the micro stakes online world that they want to tell people how they need to be doing this, that and the other, and how being like super aggressive and this and that's right, and they kind of only ever talk about pre-flop, like that's the only fucking street. Oh, you have to 3-bet this, you have to 4-bet this, you have to do this and you do that, and they kind of completely forget that that leads to lots and lots of post-flop problems that lots of players just aren't equipped to deal with. But you very rarely see discussions about those post-flop. Just do your own thing. If you want to be a tight player, just be a tight player. I mean, I'm a pretty tight player. I'm very comfortable with being a tight player. But I do feel like I have to defend myself against like bad aggressive regulars who like want to attack me for being tight, whilst probably not beating the games for as much as I do. Just let the 9-7 off go when the passive player raises our isolation, raises our limp. And we're playing in games where we can just usually be allowed to just keep pots small when we want to keep pots small and bloat them when we want to bloat them. So if we're in games where that's, or if we're putting ourselves in games where that's like the way the games play, then I don't know, just like bloating pots for the sake of bloating pots and trying to get fucking sexy stats. This seems utterly fucking moronic to me. And you're just cutting your own win rate for the sake of aesthetics. Yeah, it's bollocks most of the time. It's just bollocks. And I've been guilty in the past of sometimes trying to make like non-controversial videos that like doesn't get me quote unquote in trouble with the fucking bad regs who think aggression's like the only fucking way, but I'm fucked. Can't be bothered with that, adopting that defensive position anymore. Just gonna go flat out and say playing tight most of the time is the right thing to do. You don't always have to 3-bet your big high off suited cards, and it's fine to fold sometimes in spots where perhaps other players would raise or call or something. Just be comfortable in what you're doing. If you're making too many mistakes and you're playing badly, you're going to be losing players, so you have to make sure that you're not being too passive. But you know, you don't have to go balls out with everything. You really don't. And I think it's one of the biggest problems many players have, because you see all these fucking idiots on forums saying, oh, you must do this, you fucking must do that, you must do the other. And too many players just put themselves in spots that they're just not equipped to deal with and that they're not comfortable with. I try not to do that. I get labelled a weak, tight, fucking nit, fucking fraud, shyster, everything for it. But it works. And it's my job to beat the games I'm in for as much as I can, and when I'm helping people, it's my job to help them beat the games they're in for as much as they can too. Try and prepare them for the slightly higher limits too when they want to move up, but it's not my job to play like a 15L player in 10L. It's not my job to try and teach 10L players to play like a 15L player. It's my job to teach 10L players to play winning solid 10L poker, and then when they move up to 25L, it's my job to teach them to do that. Now, stop comparing apples with pears and things like that, or apples with oranges, however the saying goes. I'm going to flat here with that gut shot and backdoor flush draw. We're not going to try and make a 62-46 fold. We're not going to go for the semi-bluff with just a gut shot versus that player type. We are now going to do it though, because that bet looks weak based on that turn card. And the queen does give us some fold equity. I would hope. We probably will empty the clip on the river. Now we've hit, we maybe won't. Now we've hit, we don't need to bluff. I expect to lose somewhat often here. You know, he's going to have a lot of 9x in his range. He's not going to fold that, so there's no point trying to bluff him off it. So hope that somehow we've overtaken enough of his like one pair hands to make that check back fine. This guy falls to a lot of 3-bets, so we'll make one. Queen 10 off is not a type of hand I would ever 3-bet without a position, unless I felt the person opening was folding way too often. It looked like he was. He had like an 81% fold to 3-bet over 400 hands. It has to mean something, especially when he's opening like 60% of buttons. So if I see something like that that's like really exploitable, then I will get after it. I will try and exploit it. But normally Queen 10 off would not be a hand I would 3-bet unless I was very confident I was going to get a fold vast majority of the time. Yep, and the pool's still running just a little bit slow, but it feels like it's playing nicely. There's nobody in there that's like really getting out of line. Their aggression, kind of being able to like, play at my own tempo. Not being put in too many awkward spots, or any awkward spots so far, apart from with the jacks, which kind of painted ourselves into a corner with. Not c-betting the 10-8 on that board. Absolutely no equity when called, or almost no equity when called. Pick up an open ender, but nope. Throw it away. I'm going to overlap him with the 6-7. Not really strong enough to go for a big isolation raise with and our opponent when he starts having like 50 something blinds. It's our friend who maybe falls to too many 3-bets. So we'll try it out again. Again, it's another hand I would typically 3-bet with. And we're going to 3-bet again with the Queen 8 suited. Flopped an ace, that's a good start. Check it back. Three-bet this smaller character for value, shall we? No, I think we just try and take a flopping position. Actually, it's going to be a bit of a pisser if we get squeezed, but it's not going to be the end of the world either. Do get squeezed, the fish gets out of the way. And we'll also get out of the way. This time we're not going to 3-bet versus this player because he falls too much to 3-bets. Completely missed multi-way, 2 overs and backdoor flush draw isn't enough for me to win a C-bet in a multi-way pot. C-bets, he doesn't have a huge C-bet percentage. Looks like the turn barrel's going to be coming a lot. He has C-bet into a probable fish. So we'll let it go. I have a feeling this player's just going to have like an ace-8 or something and just not fold it. But we have 10 high and he looks like he's capped at an ace at best, so we can't really show our hand down there. Well, we can, simply cannot. We just lose, don't we? We just lose at showdown there. Not exactly picked up many interesting hands so far this session. Probably got another 20 minutes to go though, so fingers crossed something interesting can happen. Otherwise it'll be quite a dull event. That's another criticism I've got on YouTube. I'm getting trolled quite a lot on YouTube lately. Some guy just like randomly messaged me saying, "You're really boring and your voice is really dull." And yeah, you might well be true there, sir, but just stop fucking watching if that's the case. It's a really any reason to be a dick and just tell me that, you know. People are just cunts, aren't they? I really don't like the general public very much. I mean, I'm very politically motivated. My friends asked me to help out with the campaigns in like what was going to be the local elections, what's now going to be like a general election in this country. And I just can't be fucking bothered because it means dealing with dicks on the doorstep. And I just can't be fucking arsed doing that. No interest in dealing with fucking idiots. So I'm probably just going to be a real bore on Facebook and Twitter and just spam the shit out of like retweeting or sharing tedious political bullshit. Call here and just hope to bink and then get the rest of his stack with a bit of luck. We miss. Here we go. Let's hope we win this time with the kings. We didn't win with the jacks. Let's just hope he doesn't have those aces. Not going to 3-bet versus someone playing 15-9 with 7-5 suited. There's some players I would 3-bet that with. 3-bet with 7-5, but not someone playing 15-9 or whatever it was. How did the Kings do? Hey, we won. Happy days. Happy, happy days. Happy to limit the small blind versus players who I think aren't going to like aggressively get after me with that strategy. Because I just don't think the 42-0s fold that often. And like, yeah, King 4's probably the best hand, but if he doesn't fold, we're going to be out of position. We're going to miss a bunch. So again, it's another one of those situations where I just keep the pot small, where I just don't have to make it bigger than it needs to be. Donked into here on the Queen 7-9. Just going to call. Just going to call again. Worried about getting check raised here on this board texture. Limp call, check call. We're kind of going to go for it anyway, and we're going to make a small value bet with the Queen Jack. Oh fuck, that was a mistake. I can't remember what it was I had. I was kind of on the fold for the something else, and then all of a sudden the table popped up, which party poker sometimes does, which is very annoying. But it looks like we just folded that King Jack, which is really annoying because I didn't. Oh no, he check raised. I was going to fold versus check raise anyway, so we cope with it, but it's put a big down spike in my red line, which is pretty annoying. Yeah, but on those boards, I was like wet boards, like King Jack, someone's limped in, and then the turn gives them all kinds of straight draws, two pairs, stuff like that. We kind of have to bet them, but we're kind of doing it fucking flinching while we're doing it, aren't we? Because we know the raise is coming some of the time. At least, but then you got kind of thinking, well, I've got to get value, got to protect my hand. But then you got to think, well, what worse hands call here? Like Jack XX, a 10's come, it hits Jack 10, it hits 10-9, it just hits everything. I think in hindsight, I probably would have preferred to check, but I still would have lost because I would have checked back and then called Brick Rivers and probably still lost anyway. But yeah, I should probably learn to listen to myself a bit more in those spots and just be like, you know what? Bet folding this turn doesn't feel great when we picked up like a gut shot, might be. Maybe we can just check back in that spot, but I didn't, so whatever. 29-12. I would sometimes flat this against a 29-12, but not when there's some aggressive dudes in the blinds. Bet flop jam turn here seems like an incredibly standard line. Called 4-bet by this pretty aggressive dude. It's almost playing like a bot, isn't it? Like pretty loose aggressive with that, like pretty super high 4-3 bet. There used to be bots that played like that. And I'm not saying this guy is a bot, but there used to be bots that played like that on the old iPoker network. I just like an automatic like 4-4 bets versus certain parts of the race. You could just like click it back 4-bet them all the time, and they just like jam with aces and kings and ace king jacks, and so you could just basically get them to do whatever you wanted for like quite a cheap price. And they were fun bots to play against. Not saying that guy is a bot, but And they just like 4-bet jam with ludicrous amounts over small 3-bets and things. They were fun. They were fun accounts to play against, and they were at almost every table. At one point I thought maybe they're even fucking house bots, because they were literally one at every single fucking table. That sizing tells, they were just fucking really primitive bots. And we're going back to like 2008, 2009 here. They were really primitive, and yeah. They only played like 20 NL. They didn't play 50 NL because they would have got destroyed. And presuming they were winning at 20 NL. Because one thing they were good at was value betting. And obviously they don't tilt. And they were printing money back then. They wouldn't now. They'd lose royally now, I would imagine. Regulars are much more sophisticated these days than they were back in 2009. And they would get destroyed. Look at me saying about his high 4-3, and mine is 83 this session. Theodore will be going nuts. Be looking at this and thinking, wow, you fall to way too many 3-bets, RegiTime. Theodore will be going off his rocker. But I doubt Theodore's watching because he basically thinks I suck. So if you are watching Theodore, sorry for that. But if you're not watching, then I'm just wasting my time talking to you. This guy doesn't see bet much, so I'm a little bit concerned, but we're going to see a turn. Oh, check main raise. We have absolutely nothing, so we're going to fall, but I've no fucking clue. Well, I have got a clue. It's valued. It's clear value, but it's a dumb as fuck line. I'm going to open the 10 jack off, but I'm going to presume I'm going to be getting 3-bet a decent amount by that pretty aggro regular. A 3-bet fold the 10s here. Look behind. I was thinking if there's fish behind I would probably just call them, but there was no fish behind on your regulars. Pretty comfortable 3-bet folding 10s versus under the gun against someone who's only got 50 blinds. Get called in 2 spots, which is kind of irritating. Then the king pops. Then the ace comes and the whole job's gone to fuck. Once you get called out the small blinds when you made a 3-bet with pocket 10s, in my opinion, the range is really quite easy to define. As being like big cards and like 9s through 9s through jacks and queens and stuff. And like ace king, ace queen, stuff like that. He's finally woke up at 4-bet and it's fucking huge. Clearly going to get out of the way. Here, 2 overcards. Backdoor flush draws going to be enough for me at least to see bet the flop and see what happens. I'm going to barrel any big cards on the turns and any spades. Give up if we get called and turn to brick. Tempted to squeeze here, but I think we just call and see a flop with the loose guy. Keep him in. Don't want to create like some mega aggro dynamic with like the only the regular. Well, the only the looks like semi-competent regular in the pool. Have to call once here. Hoping for a 6, for a club, for an 8, for a 7, 4. Get the 4 of diamonds, which is kind of the shittiest 4. Pretty bad flop for the 5-6. Deuces have missed. In a pretty shit red line session this session, but that's going to happen when we literally don't make any hands, and we don't even flop stuff that gives us a chance to be aggressive, which we haven't during this session. We haven't really flopped any strong draws, we haven't really flopped any strong made hands. Two biggest pots we've played have just been like all in pre, so it's not been, it's going to have these sessions, and it's important not to panic and think, oh, I'm hemorrhaging red line, I need to do something about it. Sometimes it's just like a product of the session, you know, of a small sample size. Things can happen where just things don't, the boards just don't like cooperate with you. If your sample size is trending down overall, if your red line's trending downwards at too much of an alarming clip over a much larger sample size, then yeah, you probably have some issues with your play style. But I'm going to see a bit here, but if it's just over one session, then no, you're not. 3-bet and 19-4, which is probably a mistake with 2 10s, and he's just 4-betters, and we're just going to fold. Pretty ironic that he calls himself Sharker. Where's he from? Germany. Surprising someone from Germany has opted for this playstyle. I'll go for the big river value bet. Hope he's a hero with Queen X or whatever. Or maybe he's somehow hit the ace without hitting 2 pairs. I'm also not convinced by this min raising the button that I've started doing. He gets way less folds and usually doing with a lot of junk hands. Might go back to 2.7 in it. This guy hasn't 3-bet once yet. My red line is in free fall at the moment. We'll look at that at the end and we'll talk about it. It's in total free fall. Three bet again. By 18/11 this time. We have King Queen. I'm going to defend it. Already not very comfortable. We might end up having to pay off here now with flop top pair, unfortunately. I'd be really uncomfortable if he bombs the turn. He hasn't bombed the turn, which means we probably just have the best hand. I'm going to check back and then try and get a call off something like pocket jacks or pocket tens on the end. Well, not pocket tens now, obviously. This guy doesn't see bet very often, but we have to give him a chance to, I guess. Completely missed with the King Queen. No real backdoor equity either, so we'll just give up. I'm really going to hope this guy's got like pocket 8 or something. And not ace 5. Ace 5 would suck pretty hard. This guy double barrels a fucking ton, so we probably can't fold our 2 9s. I just don't think I'm going to fold this hand to this player. If he just shows me a better hand, then he just shows me a better hand. But he just looks like way too aggro. I mean, yeah, I'm not in love with pocket 9s on that board. Of course we're not. But, you know, if there's ever a player that I'm going to start hero, it's going to be someone like him. Who looks like they are getting a little bit out of line. And does look a little bit bottish. The more I'm looking at it, and the more I'm starting to think this guy does look just a little bit bottish. I mean, there's his stats again. Look, I mean, 92% turn barrel, 80% fall to 3-bet. Again, not accusing him of being a bot, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised because he looks, he's playing in a similar style to a lot of bots that I've seen in the past. Anyways, we're going to pack it in a couple of minutes. Let's have a look what's behind. If it's 3x, I would just have called with the ace queen, but I don't want to call a min raise with it. I mean, way too often people are just going to get out of line with some squeezes because it's going to be cheaper for them to do it. They're going to be, our range is kind of weak for just calling an under the gun min raise. So I'd rather just go with the 3-bet. We're going to start sitting out next big blind at all of our tables. This guy looks pretty out. Mind you, look at that. His C-bettings and 40 C-bettings are pretty high, but one went so flop of 26. We're going to call once and then probably just fold the turn. Unless we bink the 7, of course. He checks back, which is unfortunate. I'm going to go for a check raise again, though, because I think if he has a queen, I think he just barrels the turn with it. So I don't think he's got very much. It's going to give him a chance to bluff his draws, going to give him a chance to value bet his ace. And if we miss a little bit of value from a weak queen that he's got passive with, then sucks for us, but it's not a big deal. Does feel like he's probably checked back now, given that the hand hasn't popped back up yet. Our friend here again hasn't really let us steal his blind very much, but can't hurt to keep trying. Question I ask myself here is, would he try and triple barrel bluff me like 2 hands in a row if he bombs the river? If he's a bot and that's his line against certain lines, then yes, he absolutely will. If he's not a bot and he's adjusting, he might just double barrel and just give up on rivers. Who knows? Looks like we haven't got many tables left now. In fact, no, we've got this one. The only table we've got left. And then we're going to be having a quick traditional look at our stats, and then we'll leave it there. So yeah, we're going to move on to looking at how the session went. So here we are with a quick review of the session. Turns out we made some money in the end after getting off to a pretty lousy start, as you can see. Lost with the jacks very early, made a bit of a comeback, dribbled along, made a bit of a bigger comeback, dribbled along, and then just had a bit of a run good at the end. And the red line recovered. We started running, we weren't running great, we weren't connecting with boards. Not even with boards we could bluff on, as we talked about during the video, and our red line trended downwards. But when we started connecting, it started trending back upwards again, and like we ended up with a negative red line of whatever, 28 big blinds over 450 hands, which is completely fine in my opinion. It's important not to get too alarmed by it, like we talked about earlier. You're probably going to have a negative red line. If your red line is negative by less than 10 big blinds 100, my advice would be look at other places to try and find some improvements first. If it's negative like 20 big blinds 100, then you're probably going to need to look at it quite quickly and try and find out where you're hemorrhaging red line from, and I'll give you a clue. It's probably going to be the blinds. Most of the time it will be your blinds play that does that. So let's just look at some of the bigger pots that we won and lost. We'll start with the losers first and end with a flourish with the winners. So just kings versus jacks, whatever, big deal. This was a king jack hand that I wasn't too happy with. We got to the turn, and it's that pretty much everything gets there on the turn. It's obviously his flushes don't get there, but his two pairs do with 10-9, Jack-9, Jack-10, King-Queen gets there, H7 gets there. You know, it's a much better turn card for him than it was for us, and I think we can definitely make a case for checking back. We can make a case for either. I'm going to go all Doug Polky. I think checking back can be okay. Betting obviously can be okay too. There was a limped pot. He limp called, didn't he? Then he just put a massive raise in, and I thought I'd folded by mistake. Cause for some reason I thought the river was out and the table just popped up, but it popped up because he'd put his raise in. And yeah, I think that fine's completely fine. That fold's completely fine. So we donk him with top pair. Fair enough. Then he donks a turn. And then we go for some thin value on the river. And if you're not value owning yourself sometimes on the river in spots like this, then you're just not value betting enough, in my opinion. We've made it small enough where you can certainly call with like 7x, pocket 10s, whatever else. I mean, yeah, it's not great that the 9's paired, but you would usually continue betting with the 9, so I wasn't worried about the 9. Yeah, it's one of those situations where what worse hands call, and people might argue now, I've been seeing this, it's made a bad value bet because what worse hands can call, but worse hands can definitely call Queen 10, Queen 8 suited, but basically any random Queen X is 43/18, so you can have lots of random Queen X, 7x. Yeah, it's thin, but I don't think it's so thin that we should check back. A6 was just where we got called 4-bet by the aggro guy, wasn't it? Pocket 10s, just whatever, that board. So yeah, so we didn't really do too bad in the losing pots. We just, the red line's hemorrhaging down, pretty much because we just lost lots of opens and miss, open, miss, open, miss, which is going to happen sometimes. Let's see if we can find any of the pots that we won with that we didn't get to see. We got it in with kings here against Jack Queen suited. Where did that one go down? That seems somewhat ambitious, that 4-bet, sir. Yep, happy with that, of course. We'll look at these slightly more because we just to see how people have played their hands versus us. So he's min 3-bet the ace king. We flop a set, he bets, we slow play and call. He randomly decides to just check call this turn, which I think is obviously, look at the guy, he's 65-35, he's making a ton of mistakes. This is definitely one of them. And then we make, wow, does he call this one too? That is bonkers. Happy days. Happy, happy days. No fucking clue how he's managed to do that, but Good stuff, we'll take it. I guess this is one where this is where we check raise, bet, and it looks like he just folded the river. King, Queen, I remember this one, we bet for thin value on the river, didn't we? I believe he's 3-bet us, we called, flop top pair, he c-bets. And this is why it's a bit strange. You look, this guy's like 19/12, the 4.4% 3-bet. This is why sample sizes are so irrelevant a lot of the time. Because he looks like 19/12 with it. This is exactly the guy that Theodore fucking hated yesterday. Chegg is basically playing the way that my stats looked yesterday when Theodore fucking lost his shit at me. And just goes to show, you wouldn't really put 10-9 off in someone's range who plays these stats. Which just goes to show just how dangerous stats can be over a small sample size. You've got to be really careful. Look at me yesterday, I was playing 19/12 yesterday when Theodore pulled me up. My overall stats are 22-16 with like almost double the 3-bet that he was complaining about. So you'd be really careful with stats basically. Over small samples. He checked the turn, we checked back, which I think's clearly fine. River he checks again, and we just made like a really small value bet and we got paid off. What did our friend have with his bluff? C-bet's obviously completely fine from him. Turn barrel's marvellous, can't argue with that. And I guess once he decides to empty the clip, he just needs to empty the clip. I have no issue. I would have played this hand exactly the same as he did. Although I think I would have made a much larger. Yeah, I wouldn't have bluffed for that small amount. What size did he make it on the turn too? Because I think I would have bombed the turn. Yeah, I think he's on the right tracks here. In my opinion, he's played the hand well. He just needs to put a bit more meat. I mean, he's got to bet like a man. This river, he just needs to be fucking bombing it for like $4 or something like that. Just get me off my ace highs, my higher flush draws, like heart flush draws and things. Although I guess he's going to get me off them with this size too. But he'd get me off all my middle pairs and things. Like, I don't know, if I had pocket 8s or pocket 9s, pocket 7s, I would have played it similarly. Well, obviously I did because I had 9s, you know. If he bets $4 there, I'd probably fold my 9s. Or it certainly puts me in a much tougher spot than 150 does. So I think he's played the hand fine. He could have just worked a little bit with his sizing. And that's about it really. There's not really any more sizable pots to look at. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't and you want to be critical, please, I have no issue with people being critical. But don't be like insulting with it or like question my integrity with it. You know, if you think I suck, by all means say that I think you did this badly, this is what you should have done, this is what I would have done. No objection to constructive criticism. But if you just basically turn around and say you fucking suck, what do you think you are fucking coaching people, then probably just can delete your comments because I just can't be asked them. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed the video and we're back with another one possibly tomorrow or maybe even later on tonight, who knows. Bye bye for now.